Hello my friends, and welcome back to another Aquafit video. I'm your host Justin, and in today's video I'm going to show you a few resistance training exercises in the water to get your body fit for the summer. If you want to get to the exercises right away, feel free to skip ahead to my 9 demonstrations. To start, let me show you some of the equipment that I use when I teach my Aquafit classes focusing on resistance training. This one is my favorite, so you can adjust them by turning that knob right there to either increase the amount of water flow through the paddle, or you can decrease it by closing it. So that would create more resistance, and these are definitely my favorite. This one is called a foam dumbbell or a water dumbbell. So they're quite light, but you would use these to push down against buoyancy to get that resistance, in addition to just moving your arms through the water. And then of course, these are basically just gloves that you can put on. And it has a strap at the wrist right here to make sure that they don't fall off during your exercises in the pool. So that is the equipment that we're going to use for today. And the fourth piece of equipment or resistance tool in the pool are noodles, pool noodles. I don't have that with me today, but I will definitely show you that in my demonstrations when I'm using the noodle in the pool. And just to recap, I did mention that my favorite piece of equipment are the paddles. They offer the most resistance in the water, and they are extremely effective. So in today's video, I will demonstrate 9 resistance training Aquafit exercises in the pool in chest deep water, or slightly deeper in the water above mid chest for some of the exercises, which I will go over in a bit. So beginning with the pec fly, the chest muscles, the pectoralis muscles in the front, the chest. You can use either the gloves, the dumbbells, or the paddles, and here's a demonstration video for you. And if you decide to use the water dumbbells, be sure to add a downward angle so you're going against the water's buoyancy for more resistance. With the paddles and the gloves, it doesn't really matter. You can keep it more parallel to the surface of the water. But yeah, with the dumbbells, for sure, go down a little bit as you perform the exercises so you're getting that resistance from buoyancy. So with any exercise, when you're doing the exertion phase, when you're contracting the muscle, when it's more difficult, that's when you want to exhale and go a little bit faster. So 1 to 2 seconds, 1 to 3 seconds, depending on your level of fitness. But that's the quicker phase, and you want to exhale. And when you are relaxing, you want to inhale. That's the relaxation phase of the exercise, or the eccentric contraction, you call it. So for the pec fly, you're starting at the side and you're pushing the water in. That's when you exhale, you relax back out to the side, you inhale. So a fast and controlled muscle contraction is the aim when you're performing the pec fly or chest fly. And of course, you want to keep in mind range of motion. So range of motion is very important when you're doing your exercises. You want to think about reaching as far back as you can in the water and then getting that full range of motion, pushing the water back in towards the midline. So for this exercise, aim for 10 to 15 repetitions, doing a set or a few sets, 2 to 3 sets. And then just be sure to make sure you rest 30 to 60 seconds between sets. All right, so moving on to our next exercise is the breaststroke, or the rear delt fly. Rear delt fly meaning the posterior part of your deltoid muscle, which is in your shoulder. You're starting in the front and you're pushing the water, squeezing your shoulder blades together. Remember, when you're contracting that muscle, those muscles, you want to exhale. And then as you relax forward, inhale. So you can use the gloves, you can use the dumbbells, or you can use the paddles. Again, I would recommend doing the paddles. And for the rear delt fly or the breaststroke, if you do decide to go with using the dumbbells, make sure that you do a downward angle, again, going against the buoyancy of the water for added resistance. And just like the pec fly, aim for a set of 10 to 15 repetitions. Repeat that after you do a 30 to 60 second break, and do 2 to 3 sets. You can decide, but you're definitely going to start to feel the burn. And there's still a few more exercises to get through. This is only number 2. So let's move on to the next one, the biceps curl. You see guys and women at the gym doing the bicep curl, looking at themselves in the mirror. It's like their favorite one to do. It's one of my favorites. You can use all 3. You can wear the gloves if you want. You can use the dumbbells, or you can use the paddles. Again, use the paddles if you really want to get added resistance. It's going to be the best one for that. that. If you do decide to go with the dumbbell, you just have to make sure to reach further back, close to the water surface, and then really push down against buoyancy to do that curl. So you're starting from back and you're reaching down. Remember that you're going faster. So when you do your muscle contraction, you want to go faster, exhale, and then when you relax, you want to inhale and go slower. But the water is a little bit different than the gym, so you just want to make sure that you're keeping pace. Doing 10 to 15 repetitions, I would recommend, and 2 to 3 sets. Make sure to rest between your sets. Okay, so I hope you're enjoying these exercises. I love doing these resistance training exercises in the pool. I find them extremely effective. So let's do a check-in. When you are doing these exercises, you want to be intentional with your positioning. You want to make sure that you're breathing, again, exhaling when you're exerting, and inhaling when you're relaxing. You want to keep your shoulders back, so good posture, and you also want to engage your core the whole time. So it's not just you're isolating certain muscle groups, but you're also working your core stabilizers during this workout. So be mindful of that, be intentional about your workout. Try not to slouch, but keep that posture the whole time, and you're gonna have a much better workout, more effective, that's full body. All right, moving on to the triceps flex or kickback. With this exercise, we'll be targeting the triceps at the posterior upper arm. Again, you can use any of the resistance training tools for this exercise. Push down hard and fast as you exhale. Then turn your wrists to bring the paddles, gloves, or weights back up with less water drag. Repeat for 2 to 3 sets and 10 to 15 repetitions. And don't forget to rest 30 to 60 seconds in between. And remember to keep a good posture and your core engaged, and don't forget about our breathing technique. All right, so now we're moving on to the lat squeeze or the lat flex, which are your big latissimus dorsi muscles, big fancy word for the muscles in your back that it's hard to demonstrate as I hold the camera, but they're muscles right here that attach under your arm, like a V muscle. That pull your arms down. So, when you're at the gym, you're doing the lat pull down. Well, in the water, you can do a similar type of exercises that engages the lats. So for this one, you can use all 4 pieces of equipment. You can use the gloves, you can use a noodle or 2 noodles, if you can hold both of them. Then if you want, you can also use the paddles or the dumbbells. So basically, starting position is at the sides of the water. So you do want to go a little bit deeper just because you want to have more range of motion. The aim is to bring your hands as close as possible together behind you and squeeze those lats, keeping a straight arm as much as you can. Inhale, coming back up in the relaxation in the starting phase. Exhale as you push down, and inhale as you come back up. And remember, you don't need the resistance to come back up. So if you're using the paddles, you want to twist your wrists so that you're cutting back up to relax back to starting position, and you're using the resistance of the paddle to push down. So exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Again, it's faster going down and a little bit slower going up. Just like the previous exercises, we're aiming for 10 to 15 reps, 2 to 3 sets with a 30 to 60 second break in between. So our 6th exercise is the lateral arm raise that targets your shoulder muscle, the deltoid, the middle part, and you're starting from the sides or slightly in front, and you're pushing your arms up and you exhale. So this one is actually going with buoyancy, so it's not going to be, you're not going to have that challenge of buoyancy, but you will have the challenge of the resistance to the water, especially if you go a little bit faster. For this exercise, we're going to do 10 to 15 repetitions, and again, 2 to 3 sets with a 30-second to 60-second break in between. And for this exercise, you don't want to use the foam dumbbells just because you're going with buoyancy, pushing up, right? You're not going down against buoyancy, so it doesn't make sense to use the foam dumbbells. So just stick to using the paddle. You can stick to using just the gloves and the paddles for this one. And moving on to our 4th exercise, this one is called the wood chop. And the reason why it's called the wood chop is because it kind of looks like you're doing a wood chop, chopping wood. And so for this one, you could use the paddles. This can be the most resistance. Technically you could use the foam. that would be fine. You can also use the gloves or a noodle. I think everyone should be using, if you can, if you're looking for more resistance, use those paddles. And so instead of 2 paddles, you're just gonna be using 1 paddle. And for the wood chop, it's really important that you engage your entire core. So you are targeting the shoulders, the deltoids, you're also targeting your entire core. So specifically, the focus would be more in the oblique abdominal muscles. You really want to think about, as you're moving through the water, engaging the stabilizer muscles, and that's the whole point of this one. Again, let's do 10 to 15 repetitions, 2 to 3 sets with a 30-second to 60-second break in between. And we're gonna bring it down to the legs. I've got 2 leg exercises I wanna show you. The first one being the leg press, just like you're at the gym doing a leg press, but you're doing it in the water using buoyancy as resistance, as well as just the water's viscosity. You can grab, for this one, you're not gonna use any of the equipment that I showed you except for the noodle. So you do wanna use 1 noodle. If you can handle 2, that's even better. You're gonna get more resistance. And you want to make sure you're at the side of the pool so that you're holding onto the ledge with 1 hand and you're really focusing on form, posture, and your core. Of course, range of motion with your movement as well. Grab a noodle or 2 and you're basically gonna put it underneath your foot, bring your knee up as high as you can, and then push the noodle down. You're pushing the noodle down and exhaling as you push down, and inhale as you bring the noodle back up. And so let's repeat this for 20 to 30 repetitions and 2 to 3 sets for the leg press. Feel the burn. So you're gonna be using, of course, this is like working a little bit of the hamstring. You're getting some hamstring contraction, and you're also going to be working those glutes. And don't forget to switch legs. So you did 1 leg, make sure you turn around and do the other leg. All right, so we've made it to our last exercise, the 9th exercise, another leg one. We're gonna use the noodle or both. I would recommend trying to add the resistance if you can. So both noodles, it's a little bit tricky this one. So you want to make sure, again, you're in the same spot, holding onto the pool's edge, and you're focusing on 1 leg. So put those noodles below your foot. You wanna point your toes and hold that position. You're gonna lose the noodle a couple times. Get used to doing that, and then eventually you'll get it. So basically what we're doing is we're gonna be targeting the hamstring muscle, so the posterior upper part of the leg. And so you're gonna raise your leg, straight leg, right up to the surface, and then you're gonna push down to really contract that hamstring. You're gonna feel a little bit of the glute contraction as well. And so as you do that, of course, you're exhaling when you push down and you're inhaling when you relax back up. Because we're doing the legs, let's focus on 20 to 30 repetitions and 2 to 3 sets with a 30 to 60-second break in between. And go fast. You can go fast with this. Push down and relax up, and push down and relax and up. And you're doing 20 to 30, so you're gonna really feel that burn. Trust me, you're gonna love it. You're gonna feel those glutes being activated. I have a bonus exercise for you today. I said we're gonna do 9, but I actually have 10. And so I've demonstrated this exercise before in a previous video, the figure 8. So you know the figure 8 with your arms, you can do the figure 8 with your legs. As I demonstrated previously, you can click the link right here if you want to watch those exercise demonstrations. But for today, we're gonna do the figure 8 with our arms. So both arms simultaneously, but with resistance. You can use the dumbbells. You can use a paddle or both paddles, 1 in each hand, or you can use gloves. Or if you don't have any of that equipment, you can use a noodle in each hand, holding the middle of the noodle. And you're basically gonna draw the figure 8. So you're gonna get that resistance. You're pushing the water all the way through in this type of motion. Let's do 10 to 15 repetitions, 2 to 3 sets, and we're doing both arms together. And then once you've done that, we're gonna do another 2 to 3 sets, 10 to 15 repetitions, going the opposite way. And this is not just gonna be effective for muscle building in your arms, it's also engaging your core because you wanna focus on stabilization, your stabilizer muscles. You're also working on joint mobility for your shoulders. So that's really good for opening up the shoulders. So it's kind of like a stretch. Oh yes, and I forgot to mention that with the figure 8, you don't have to go especially quick with it. So again, with this one, it's range of motion, it's focused on a good form, like all the other exercises, but you don't need to go quickly with this one. It's more like your relaxing bonus exercise. Okay, my friends, so I really hope that you enjoyed these exercises. If you have any questions about these exercises, if you try them yourself, if you have questions on form, what you like about them, what you don't like about them, what you find is effective, If you have any suggestions, I am all ears, and you can write in the comments below this video, or you can even send me an email. I welcome everyone. I want to hear from you. If you are so inclined, you can email me, Justin at Aquaviva, that's V-I-V-A, fit.com. So Justin at aquavivafit.com. And that's it for today, my friends. And in the meantime, keep on splashing. Until next time.